Hi everybody, welcome back to Erica Schmerica Reality Recaps. Today we're going to be talking about 90 Day Fiance Season 8, The Tell-All, Part 1. Make sure to like and subscribe to my new YouTube channel so you can get all of my updates on all of the crazy reality shows that we all love. Let's get started. If you ask me, there was really only one tell-all, and that was Stephanie's sofa tell-all. But if I have to recap the regular tell-all, then here goes. The camera crew filmed everybody showing up to the tell-all with, of course, Mike and Natalie showing up separately. Right away, that's a scandal. Right away, we know that there's trouble in Squim Paradise. So they started really in with Mike and Natalie first, kind of going into the whole decision that Mike made about calling off the wedding the night before the wedding. So he first explained that, the night of before the wedding, he just needed some time to himself, to just think, So he had to go take a walk in the Squim wilderness by himself at 4 a.m., which Natalie claimed that she just noticed he was missing. I mean, I don't know how you wouldn't notice a 6'4" Sasquatch missing from your bed earlier or hear him leave the bed at 4 a.m. But nonetheless, she had no idea where he was. She tried calling his phone. Obviously, he didn't get reception wherever he was, and she called Tamara and Uncle Bo. Natalie claimed that Tamara had told her that Mike was having a bachelor party because that's what people do. Now, this whole story doesn't make any sense to me because 4 a.m. he's leaving and that's a bachelor party, and why would that make sense to anybody? Also, she didn't hear him leaving, and she called Tamara at 4 a.m. and she didn't say anything like, oh, it scared me when the phone rang at 4 a.m. It was just very confusing, the whole thing. Natalie, she just, is saying tight-lipped. Sean's asking her questions. She said she doesn't want to talk about it. And that is the point of a tell-all, right? To tell all. So we're not getting any answers out of Natalie. Natalie made it a point to just ignore Big Mike pretty much the entire time. Giving him the cold shoulder, so cold that in fact his nipples were kind of showing through his shirt. Okay, she kind of has that effect on some people, I suppose. But yeah, Mike kind of just seemed used to it and kind of just seemed like he did the entire season where he's like, I don't know. So Natalie just was her normal self, just 1,000-yard stare. She had on this red dress with these flowy wings in the back, which made her look even more like demon-like. They weren't really doing her any favors. Later on, Mike's mom, Butter Mom, showed up, and she was talking about how Mike had told her that he was going to call off the wedding a week or so before. He just wasn't feeling it, and she kind of agreed because she noticed that Natalie was always trying to change Mike and really didn't seem to take him as he is for the beer drinking, meat loving, alien revering person that he is. So Buttermom agreed. She thought it was a great idea to call off the wedding. Mike said he was going to give her some, spending money, taking a little hint from Stephanie with a little snack money and a plane ticket back to Ukraine. So she revealed this on the tell-all, which was news to Natalie and just made her stare even more intensely than she already was. And then Tamara came on, and Tamara kind of sided with Buttermom. They were kind of on Team Mike. They both kind of felt like, they were fighting all the time. Although Tamara did admit that she saw the love between them. And I think Tamara just enjoyed howling at the wedding. The host, Sean, made it a point to address Stephanie and Daddy Ryan, saying that, they wouldn't be coming, but we wish them well, not going into the fact that Stephanie and the production company seemed to have parted ways on bad terms, which is the real reason why she wasn't invited to the tell-all. Yara and Jovi were looking great as new parents. Yara was wearing this cute purple top with these fun earrings. She looked great. She took out her extensions. Good move. And Jovi looked good. He actually looked like more fresh than he usually does. Maybe married life is working wonders for him, as is being a new father. He had the new father glow. So anyway, they kind of put him on the hot seat right away by bringing up the strip club scene, not realizing that Yara hadn't seen it. I guess she has better things to do than watch 90 Day Fiance. I don't know who would. However, she never saw it. So she's seeing it for the first time. They go from being all lovey-dovey holding hands to like pushing him away and announcing that she's cold. Also, they brought on Jovi's mother, Gwen, who everybody loves now. Thank you. I always loved Gwen, and I saw that she was the real MVP from early on. However, I will say that she came on and she was ashamed of Jovi's behavior and said that there were a lot of things she wanted to say to him that she couldn't say on the tell-all. So remember last year when the tell-all had 10 hours of leaked footage? Yes, 10 hours of my life were wasted on that leaked footage. But I'm spoiled because now that's all I want to see is the behind the scenes. You know, all this edited stuff. It's just not as rewarding. Brandon and Julia had to weigh in on different things. Julia was admitting that she is not a fan of plastic surgery, and she doesn't understand why anybody would have plastic surgery when they could just go to the gym club. Just go to the gym club. I mean, I didn't know that they did nose jobs at LA Fitness, but I'd never been there because I'm just going to sit home and watch 90 Day Fiance. Anyway, so then they talked about Brandon and Julia and Julia's experience on the farm, which, as truth should have it, it comes out that Julia volunteered to do these things because they're Brandon's chores. So Brandon goes to work all day and she's home bored on the farm all day. And then when he comes home, he has to do them. So in an attempt to like spend more time with Brandon and free him up a little bit, then she goes and does the chores herself. So everybody kind of ragged on her a little bit for, you know, playing the poor me card, but really she volunteered. Also, she kind of feels like she's getting a little bit of baby fever, maybe seeing Yara and Jovi and their new baby, but everybody made fun of her again because she just claimed that she just got a new puppy, and then that was so overwhelming, and so everybody pretty much told them, you are not ready for a baby. Betty looked adorable. She had her little blowout with her little bangs. Very cute Betty bangs. And she and Ron were just saying that they love Julia and that they were just hoping, you know, if the couple didn't want to have kids, that's why Betty was suggesting go to the gynecologist so that, you know, Julia could hear all of her options. Obviously, that whole thing was set up by production. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that's pretty obvious. But it was enjoyable television nonetheless. Big Mike also weighed in on the Julia and Brandon birth control topic, giving them the most confusing birds and bees talk I've ever heard. He's like, you know, like two people in new love, like, you know, and stuff comes out and stuff goes in, and you know what I mean? Like, you just gotta be careful, you know? What? Is this something he's hearing on his Bluetooth? They also showed a little behind the scenes where everybody stopped to break for lunch. Natalie, like, stomped off by herself. She sat at the little cafeteria table with her little box lunch, probably hopefully a carrot in there, by herself. Silent treatment for Mike, who sat down next to her while she pushed something around in the little box that they gave her. And she didn't say a word and then stormed off on her own. Andrew looked like, you know, the kid in the 80s movie that nobody wanted to eat lunch with. He was sitting there all by his lonesome, looking like, you know, some kind of warlock. And everybody else just seemed to like stay in their little cliques. Last up were Rebecca and Zied. So Rebecca and Zied were mostly, I felt like they went kind of easy on them. Hopefully in part 2 of the tell-all, they'll get into Rebecca's pigtails and her corset situation on her dress. That has to be addressed in my humble opinion. Rebecca mostly talked about her plastic surgery, that she plans to have a tummy tuck, that she did the Sonobello and she was in the commercials for this. And she had a little lip injection and some Botox and clearly got some hair extensions, though she didn't wash them. Zied even admitted that he would like to get a tummy tuck because he loves pizza, although they live in Georgia, so I'm pretty sure it's just Papa John's or Pizza Hut. Not such great options. Me no accept this as a New Yorker. So Rebecca and Zied did talk to Rebecca's daughter, Tiffany, weighing in on the situation about Tiffany's friend with the blonde hair who Rebecca felt was hitting on Zied because she wanted to help him move furniture into the Georgia Detention Center so he didn't have to sit on the floor anymore to play his Game Boy or whatever it was that he was playing. Rebecca maintained that the girl was hitting on him and that she was being rude and disrespectful, while Tiffany basically made it known that her mom is very insecure and that her friend is just friendly and she should give it a rest. Tiffany's fiance or husband, not really sure, Micah, had this like very fluffy Cabbage Patch doll hair going on, which was pretty enjoyable. All in all, it was a pretty lame tell-all. I kept waiting for Angela to break through the wall like the Kool-Aid man, just like screaming. That would have definitely livened things up. But nonetheless, we still have part 2 to watch. Thanks so much again for tuning in for this week's edition of Erica Schmerica Reality Recaps. This was 90 Day Fiance Season 8, Part 1 of the tell-all, and next week we will have Part 2. So please make sure, if you haven't done so already, to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you again next week. Bye!